Mark Reed is a romantic novel writer. He usually writes stories in the park to encounter random couples. For the past weeks, he has struggled to find inspiration for his upcoming novel. Mark visited George's snack house. He cooks delicious sandwiches. Mark eats there whenever his head feels empty. There, he bumped into his sister Julia, George's wife. Mark is a boring guy who was never into dating girls. His sister arranges blind dates for him in the hope of searching for his match. Julia was reading the missed connections section of a newspaper. It is where shy people confess their love for someone. The sender met a man in a grocery store, but she was too scared to say hi. The man is handsome and fond of reading books in the park. They made eye contact there. If ever he came to read her confession, she wanted him to write back. Julia realized something. The lady was referring to her brother. Mark disagreed. He never read in the park and never makes eye contact with anyone. But Julia insisted. She wanted him to write back to her. Mark was never interested. He only wants to find inspiration to continue his write-up. George suggested he take a vacation to the city of love, Paris. Julia, on the other hand, said he should go to the countryside or visit farms. Mark finds their suggestions silly. Unique locations will surely add favors to stories, but he will only find irrelevant ideas. He can still make a good novel by staying in their town. He already has an idea. A girl got mad at a guy for not noticing her. The man hated her too. Until fate brought them together to a place, their impressions changed. They fell in love with each other. Romantic music plays, and they will dance slowly. They will look at each other and kiss. Julia and George find his idea corny. Mark, on the other hand, is serious that he will write about it. He already thought of the female protagonist. He only thinks of a perfect guy to pair with her. Julia suggested that he should date while thinking of the leading man. She found a cute woman for him. She already told the lady he's a writer, and she finds it attractive. Julia instructed him to bring the girl to a nice place. She also suggests he wear the blue shirt she gave him last Christmas. The meetup will be later at 6 p.m. Mark freaked out. He finds it too rushed. Mark declined her offer. He was traumatized by the girl he had previously dated. His sister never oriented him that woman had a cat. Julie promised that it wouldn't happen again. She's sure about the girl this time. Melissa is a well-mannered woman, and he will like her. Mark doesn't want to make his sister feel bad, so he agrees. He walked to the street and ate the sandwich he had craved. Before he could take a bite, it fell to the floor. A fit and attractive lady passes by. She was jogging around the park. She is Jessie, a sweet, loyal, and decent woman. She has a boyfriend named Trent. Jessie asked him if he was ready to move in with her. Trent was making excuses. He was doubting, but he didn't want to make her feel bad. Trent would love to live with her. It's just that he has not decided yet. Jessie was upset. She took a day off to help him move his things. She gave him 2 weeks to think about it. He should have informed her that he was not interested. Trent admitted he was concerned with Jessie's friend, Becca. Before Jessie asked him to live with her, he told Becca to move into his apartment. He doesn't want to make her feel bad, as well as Jessie. Becca will be alone if he moves out. Jessie was surprised. She never thought that her friend mattered more to him. Trent denied that he cheated. He only invited Becca to move in because of a song. She wrote him a song. Trent looked happy to share it. He even described each line and word with actions. Becca said he was her inspiration in writing it. He was overwhelmed with happiness, so he invited her to move in. Jessie finds his reason absurd. She demanded to tell Becca the truth, or she would end their relationship. Instead of feeling sorry, Trent was delighted. He will have an excuse to meet Becca. Mark, on the other hand, is walking in the park as he waits for the time to pick up his date. His annoying sister called him again. She was making sure that he wore the blue shirt and perfume. Mark responded yes, but he never followed her. He's not interested in dating anyway. Jessie's father called. He was mad that Trent doubted moving in with his daughter. He felt bad for her. She waited 6 months for him. Jessie was only wasting time with a guy who was unsure of her. Jessie's dad pleaded with her to return home. He can send her brothers to take care of her things. He also knows a wrestler she can date. Jessie is not ready to go home. The lady had been staying in the city for her work and dissertation. She also said that she has Trent. He is sweet, handsome, and thoughtful sometimes. Her sad eyes made her dad doubt if she was happy with him. Maybe they have not known each other well to live together. Jessie realized something. Her dad is right. She admitted that they were not on the same page lately. Jessie doesn't want him anymore. She has to find a way to make him disappear. She thought of cheating. Jessie wore her best outfit. She put on makeup and groomed herself. Mark, on the other hand, arrived in the apartment complex. He waited in his car until he saw her. A lady in a pink top and black skirt stood before him. She seemed to be waiting for someone. She could be Melissa. She looks well-mannered, like how Julia describes her. Mark went out of the car to introduce himself. The girl was whining. He wondered if she was fine. He doesn't want to force her. He was not interested in dating her either. The lady said she was fine and smiled at him. Mark gave the flower and never asked her name. He's not into her. He warned the lady not to bring pets. Jessie wondered who he was. She had never met him before. She was touched that he had given her flowers. Her boyfriend never does that. After knowing he wanted to date her, she never declined. Jessie wants to cheat on Trent anyway. Mark couldn't believe that she wanted to go with him. He asked her again in case her mind changed. After confirming that she was not waiting for someone, Mark let her inside. Seconds after they left, another lady came out of the apartment. It was Melissa. Mark had no idea that he had picked up the wrong woman. In the car, Jessie was entertained by the sticky notes on the dashboard. Each note contains characters that Mark wants to include in the novel. He also noted relevant ideas that popped into his mind. He was finalizing the plots and characters before writing the draft. He asked the lady where she wanted to go. Jessie laughed. He was the one inviting. He should have planned where to take her. He obviously had no idea how to date. Mark's ego was hurt. He would want them to dine in, get to know each other, and pretend to enjoy their date. Then, she will arrive home, write a diary, and tell her friends that he was her worst date. Jessie was pissed off. She hates being judged when she never said anything. She went out of the car and walked away. Mark followed her. His sister will surely be furious for being rude to his date. He apologized. He doesn't feel like dating, so he uttered those words. Jessie doesn't like dating a boring guy either. She didn't want to go out, but he picked her up. Mark felt sorry and toned down his voice. As he arrived at the apartment earlier, he considered backing out. But after seeing her, he thought he would miss something great if he let the chance slide. He doesn't want her to go. Mark pleaded with her to never give up on him. Jessie was convinced. She went inside the car. Mark asked where she wanted to go. Jessie said to go to his usual thing and imagined she was not with him. By doing so, she will get to know him more with his daily routine. They first stopped at the sandwich cart of George, Mark's all-time favorite snack house. He ordered his special sandwich. He wanted Jessie to taste it. George was surprised to see his date. He asked the lady about Mark. Jessie said he was boring. George laughed hard. No one will surely fall for him. He will forever remain as the novelist who writes romance, but not romantic in real life. Mark's office is right beside it. He asked permission to leave the lady for a few minutes. Inside, he encountered a whining strange guy, resting his head on the wall. It was Trent. He looks problematic. He asked Mark if he had experience choosing between two ladies. Mark smiled awkwardly. He felt he was not the right guy to be asked. He's only on a blind date stage. Trent was torn between a fun, creative, and affectionate lady that makes him so happy, and a woman, not that fun but attractive, clean, and intelligent. Mark suggests he pick the girl who makes him work more. If he's willing to make an effort just to be with her, that's the girl he cares about the most. Trent was left undecided. Deep inside, he wants to choose the funny one who wrote him a song. Mark replied that the song would not make him change his mind. He's still choosing the other lady. Trent remained silent. Mark learned he was not on good terms with the attractive but boring girl. He suggests making efforts to win her back, to make her dinner or buy flowers. Trent felt motivated. He never made her a dessert. He thought of making one and buying flowers. He thanked Mark for the advice and wished him luck on his date. Trent went to George to get his order. Jessie rattled and hid under the table. She pleaded with George never to tell him about her. Trent got curious if George was talking to someone. He denied it. He is only looking at the floor. George offered him free cookies. Trent declined because he was rushing to surprise someone. He shared with George earlier that he was having a hard time choosing between two girls. He also wished to have them both. Now, he finally knows who he wants. Out of his knowledge, Jessie was listening to him. He was falling for Becca all along, even if he was committed. Trent left. George asked Jessie how they were related. Jessie denied she knew him. He just looks familiar. Mark returned. He had already figured out plans for the date. He thinks he can pull it off. Jessie got excited and asked where. Mark pretended not to hear her and laughed hard. Jessie said earlier to go to his usual route and imagined she's not with him. Mark bid goodbye and grabbed the sandwiches. An old man opened the door. It was Gary, and he was celebrating his birthday. Gary shouted to his nurse that a random Grim Reaper had visited the wrong house. Mark laughed and greeted him. The old man wondered. His birthday was 2 days ago. Gary is taking medications. Mark has been visiting him since college. He introduced Jessie as a biographer. She's interested in documenting his life story. Gary was flattered and let them in. The old man keeps staring at Jessie. He finds her adorable. The lady said that they had prepared a present for him. Mark stared sharply at her. He never prepared something. George smiled from ear to ear. He was looking forward to their surprise. Mark was touched seeing him happy. He doesn't want to disappoint him. He stood up and played the guitar. Jessie stood beside him. They sang a song about Gary. It was an impromptu melody and lyrics, but the old man looked entertained. He has been touched by hearing kind words about his personality. He jokingly said that it was a presentation and not a gift. He threatened Mark to let Jessie read his novel if he would not give the present. Jessie was amused. She never knew that Mark was a writer. Mark gave Gary the sandwiches he had craved for so long. The old man got excited like a kid. He hid it under his chair. His nurse, Mary, would surely nag at him. Gary was prohibited from taking fatty foods. Mark gives him a sandwich only on his birthday. The old man requested Mary to get them drinks. He took out the sandwich. He rattled when Mary approached him. He hid it again. Mark and Jessie laughed at him. They find him cute. Jessie recalled the book. She was wondering what book it was. Mark doesn't want her to read it. He wants to hide his identity as a novelist. However, the nurse told the lady everything. She has been a fan of his novels. She even has one placed in her pocket. Mary loved reading Mark's collections. It takes her back to the good old days of falling in love. Jessie was amused. She never knew that a boring man who doesn't know anything about dating could write romantic stories. Mark felt embarrassed. They were all teasing him. Mary placed the novel in Jessie's bag. She wanted to share how good Mark is. There, the nurse smelled the sandwich. She took it away from Gary. Gary grabbed it back. They fought for it like kids. Gary won. Mary let him hold it. She warned the man never to take a bite, or she won't give him the medicine. Gary was desperate. He craved it for so long. He took a bite. Mary got furious. She got mad at Mark. She knew he was the one who gave it. Mark was not sorry. He said he would do it again if it would make Gary happy. He felt bad that he only eats liquid. He nagged at Mary. The nurse got irritated, so she kissed him. Gary had a chance to show Mark's book to Jessie. He also told her that Mark was almost his grandson, but he decided not to. Jessie got curious about what he meant. The old man smiled. He never explained further. Mark was able to escape Mary. He held Jessie and ran outside. He bid goodbye to Gary and promised to return and help him shave. In the car, Mark thanked Jessie for dating him. It was nothing to her. She enjoyed it so much. Mark drove her to the park. They sat on the bench and ate sandwiches. They will be watching a romantic show, according to him. Jessie wondered what he meant. She never saw performers around them. Shortly after, a man in a suit left a letter on the bench. He hid behind a tree. He seems to be waiting for someone. A lady came. She was in a blue dress. She got excited to see the letter. According to Mark, they had been exchanging letters for so long. The lady reads it. It came from the mysterious man she was falling for. She had no idea that he was right behind the tree. Jessie wondered how Mark spotted them. He said that he writes his novel at the park. He recently had trouble finding inspiration, and he found them. The mysterious man usually gives the letter during those hours. Their love story never started because he never dared to show himself to the woman. The lady was the one who confessed first. It was published in Missing Connection that Julia was fond of reading. Mark was happy that the man dared to reply. They find their story romantic. Jessie disagreed. She ran out of patience. She pitied the woman for falling in love with a cowardly guy. Jessie approached the lady. Mark followed her. He claimed that he was the one who wrote the letter. He held the woman's hand. The strange guy reacted. He approached his girl and pushed Mark to the grass. At that moment, the woman learned that he was the mysterious guy. She was delighted to see him. They hugged each other. Mark and Jessie walked away to let them have the moment. They were happy to help. Jessie wiped the dirt on Mark's face and sat on the bench. They couldn't stop staring at the couple. Their story finally ended. Mark has nothing to watch the next time he stays there. Jessie asked Mark why he was almost Gary's grandson. Back in college, Mark has been writing stories. His sister, Julia, stole one of his write-ups and sent it to a publisher. He was offered $20,000 in advance. He was overwhelmed with the money. He had no idea how to spend it. Mark remembered the inspiration for that novel. He wants to pursue her. He meets her grandpa, Gary. He liked him so much, they became close friends. Mark looks up to him as a master schemer. He asked for his help. He wants to propose to his granddaughter. They came up with a perfect proposal. It was not grand, but the presence of close family and friends made it special. He wrote a song and sang it to her. It was so romantic. He couldn't wait to hear her say yes. He knelt and proposed for marriage. The lady replied, "Sure, why not?" Mark was disappointed. He couldn't see happily ever after beyond them hearing her response. He backed out and never pursued her. Jessie could not blame him. He wrote romantic stories and wanted to experience them in real life. Mark wants a woman who is sure about him because when he falls in love, he gives his all. Jessie cheered him up. Maybe his girl is right around the corner, like the couples earlier. Mark looked at Jessie. He was curious about her story. Jessie dated a guy for a few weeks in college. He would bring waffles and crepes for her at breakfast. It made her fall for him even more. After graduation, the guy wanted to live with her. However, she has to finish her dissertation. When Jessie was finally ready, the man had cold feet. She stayed in the relationship for 6 months, hoping his mind to change. Within that period, she got a job and apartment. Until now, the guy remained undecided about moving in with her. Mark wants to comfort her. He played romantic music from Jessie's phone. He held her hands to dance with him. Sunset's orangey rays kissed their faces. Jessie rests her head on his shoulders. Mark hugged her and enjoyed the moment. He never felt that comfortable when hugging a blind date. He wondered why Jessie had a date with a boring man like him. Jessie said she felt sure about him. Mark looked into her eyes. He went closer to kiss her. Jessie never stopped him. The romantic music stopped. Trent was calling. Mark was jealous. Jessie is sweet to her boyfriend. He was standing awkward, hearing their conversation. Trent already informed Becca about the problem. Jessie was delighted and said to wait for her. Jessie asked permission to leave. Mark had no courage to stop her. He dropped her off at the apartment. Silence filled the car and they were awkward with each other. Jessie bid goodbye and left. Mark was left alone. He remained in the parking, thinking about Jessie. His phone rang. His sister was calling. Julia got mad that he had ghosted Melissa. She waited 3 hours for him. Mark was confused. He just dated her earlier. Julia continued nagging. She learned from George that he had brought another woman to the snack house. At that moment, Mark wondered about the woman he had picked up. He never knew her name, but he was falling for her. Trent surprised Jessie with cake and flowers. The lady could not say a word. He had never surprised her before. Jessie wanted to talk to him. Her face was serious, and it bothered Trent so much. He interrupted, saying that he had met a guy earlier. He made him realize how lucky he was to have her. Trent wants to win back Jessie. He was successful. The lady fell for his words and hugged him. Trent noticed why she was wearing a man's coat. Jessie realized it was Mark's. She said she got it from his closet. Trent believed her. Someone knocked on the door. It was Mark. Trent was delighted to see him again. He was the man at the snack house. Trent asked how his date went. Mark said his date was stubborn and crazy. She started a scene at the park. Jessie stared sharply at him. She knew he was referring to her. Mark continued talking aloud. He shared with Trent that he loved every minute of their date. He even regretted dropping her off without confessing to her. Jessie felt butterflies in her stomach. Mark's words moved her. Trent was glad to hear from him. He admired how romantic he was. He suggested that they should go double date sometime. Jessie asked Trent for ice cream. He went out and borrowed the coat. Trent was looking for his money. He searched it on the coat and found Mark's calling card. He returned to the apartment and punched him. Jessie calmed him down. Trent asked her to choose between them. Jessie chose him. Mark was hurt. Jessie said she would never be like the girls in his novel. Mark was teary. For him, no writer could ever write an amazing woman like her. Back then, Mark was busy portraying leading men in his novels. He dreams of being romantic like them to meet the right woman. When he found Jessie, he knew she was the one. He wanted to be her guy. Jessie asked him if he knew her name. Mark could not respond. Jessie was hurt. They spent time together, but he never dared to ask her name. She felt unimportant in his life. Mark went out of the apartment, crying. He regretted not knowing her. Jessie looked at Trent. She asked if he was ready to move in with her. Trent could not respond. He was still unsure of her. Jessie was heartbroken. She waited 6 months for nothing. She pushed Trent outside and threw the cake in his face. The next day, Jessie's dad called. He pleaded with her to go home. Jessie refused. She could not leave her job. Her dad wondered why. She already broke up with Trent, so he asked if she was waiting for someone. Jessie was caught off guard. She didn't know how to respond. Mark's novel caught her attention. She realizes something. She deserves a man willing to do everything just to be with her. Jessie dropped the call and rushed somewhere. She went to the snack house to look for Mark. She meets Julia. Jessie pleaded to call Mark for her. She has an important thing to say. Julia got curious that she had a copy of Mark's novel. She had never met her before. Jessie responded that Mark was in love with her. Julia finds her crazy. She called the cops to pick her up. Jessie rattled and ran away. Out of her knowledge, Mark visited Gary to help him shave. Mary apologized for kissing him the other day. She just admired his write-up and wanted to meet a man like him. Someone knocked on the door. Mary opened it. It was Jessie. She was asking if Mark had visited Gary. The nurse lied. She said he was not inside. Jessie feels hopeless. She went to the park and reminisced about their date with Mark. She wishes that he would go there. Jessie saw the couple again. They looked so in love. She envied their sweetness. It also was unbelievable that their love story started from a confession in the newspaper. Days passed by, and Mark visited George to have a sandwich. Julia approached him. A crazy fan came last time and was looking for him. She also said that Mark was in love with her. She scared her away by calling the police. Mark laughed. He never knew he was famous. Julia was reading aloud the newspaper. A unique confession caught her attention. It was short yet sweet. A lady was waiting for the guy she dumped. She wanted him to complete her story. Mark remembered Jessie. He grabbed the newspaper and ran somewhere. He found Jessie at the park. She was smiling at him. Mark was teary. He held her hands and asked if she wanted him in her life. Jessie said yes, and they kissed. Mark finally met the perfect girl like the ones in his novels.